Alright, here's the second part of the Amish thing. And for some reason, if the men are either married or single, I forget, they will grow a beard but no mustache. But whenever I see them in the store, I'll nod my head as in a way, say hello and
They have tons of babies.
no, not really. I don't know.
I've seen tons of kids.
But I'll be nice to them, be polite and everything. And I guess they're pretty religious, but man, like I said, we were out of power for 2 weeks, and it's like, okay, God, we're done with our free trial of being
Maybe
Amish.
it's longer because I don't have my internet on my computer.
Now, I let her use our regular cell phone. We, we have free cell phone service because of us being on food assistance, but you only get one cell phone per family. Now, if she got cell service on her cell phone, the one I'm recording on right now, the cheapest would be about $30 a month, and that's a little pricey. And the only time she would ever really use it would be if she made her own phone calls to me. Like if I'm at the store, she calls me and says, hey, get me this, that, or the other thing. Or I call her and say, hey, Tina, did you want this or that or that or this? But we can always talk to each other via Facebook. And I really don't think it's worth spending $30, $40 just for her to use the phone when we're out and about.
Well, I have nobody to call but you.
Right, and we could talk to each other on Facebook. Now,
She's too far away.
now I'm not saying I told her not to get a cell phone. I mean, obviously we're trying to buy this house and whatnot, and right now our money situation is, we're getting by. We get some treats for the dogs, and we might go to Burger King every now and then, but we can't afford a cell phone plan. Now, after we buy the house, instead of paying rent, we're going to be paying the house payment. She would probably be able to afford a cell phone plan. But the thing is it really worth $30 to $40 a month just so she can talk to me on the phone? I mean, shoot, if she wants to talk on the phone, she could just use our phone, our regular main one, the one that I type on, and she could use this one just via Wi-Fi. And if we're out and about at the store and she wants to make a phone call, she could just use our phone. Or if she wants to check the internet, she could just use our phone. But I am in no way saying, well, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just right now we can't afford it. And then even otherwise, it wouldn't really make sense to have two cell phones, that have the same calling service and data service when we can get by on one. I mean, that'd be like having two TVs in the same front room. It's like we could just watch the TV together. I mean, she'd be watching Jeepers Creepers on a TV right there. I'd be watching it right there. It wouldn't make sense. It's like if we're at the store or we're driving around and you call, I could just hand the phone to her, because usually she and I are together. Or if she wants to look something up, she can do that. If she's at home and I need to contact her to ask her something, or vice versa, we could just hit each other up on Facebook. Now, if I'm at the store and she's here and she had her own cell phone and you called, right, that'd be different, because she could talk to you while I'm at the store. But again, like I said, $30 to $40 for a cheap cell phone plan. I don't know if it's worth it, because like I said, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, we're together. And if you call, I'm just like, hey, it's Mariah here. Or like if I set the phone down, well, my phone is charging, but let's say I was on my phone and I set it down because I had to go grab a beer. If it started ringing, she would get up and she would see it was you. She'd go, yay, Mariah! And she would talk to you. Or if we're at the store or just driving around and the phone rings, she would look at it because usually on the console. She'd be like, "Yay, Mariah!" And you get the idea. But like I said, I mean, financially, I don't think it makes sense for her and I, since we're together all the time, basically, to have our own phone. But, you know, as far as data and cell phone service, I mean, if we go to the doctor, if we go to the store, there's free Wi-Fi, so she and I can each be on our device, on our phone. She uses the Samsung one basically as a small tablet. And if we're here and Wi-Fi's working, you know, we could both be on Wi-Fi. If we're in the truck and someone calls or she wants to be on the internet, she could just pick up the regular, our cell phone. Or if we're here and you call, she could just grab the phone or I'll give it to her. So, I mean, and the free cell phone service phone. This one. It's got a cracked screen, but it still works perfectly. But, she calls up my phone. I'm like, no, it's our phone. And,
On it most time.
but we have talked about eventually getting a landline. And then, so that way,
Call it landline.
yeah, like say if you called,
Nighttime.
if I'm at the store going on beer run and she's here sitting at the house and you called, I think with some services, because the landline goes through Spectrum, so if you called, it would pop up on the TV. Well, she'd jump her butt out of the chair and she'd run in the kitchen, grab the phone. Yay! You know. Or she'd probably just have the cordless phone sitting in here while we were down here. And then if you called, she'd just pick it up and talk to you. Or if I needed to call her or vice versa. But let's say we had landline and I was at the store and I seen that you're calling. I wouldn't pick it up because that way you would know either we're asleep or, you know, she's not around me at the time. Because I know you love talking to her. So I'd be like, all right. And I know you have to be careful with your calling card, how much you talk. So I just let it ring. And then after that, you could call the landline. And more than likely, she would pick up if she was awake. Or you could call the landline first. And then if I don't answer, either we're asleep or we're at the store, and you could call the cell phone. Basically, we give you both numbers. You already have this number, but then call one of them. If no one picks up, call the other. And if no one picks up, then odds are we're asleep. But like I said, it just doesn't make sense to pay $30 to $40 to have a second cell phone service with data when we're together all the time and we can share the phone. You know, if I'm at the store, she needs me, she could contact me through Facebook and vice versa. If I'm at the store, like if I go on a beer run, I see that you called, I'm like, all right, okay. And then once I got home, I'd be like, Mariah called. And then, like, you could call again. Kind of like the other day, I was sitting in the parking lot waiting for her at the doctor's office, and you called, so I picked up, and I just walked in the doctor's office and gave the phone to her. But 95% of the time, we're together. So like I said, it just doesn't really make sense to pay $30 for another phone service when we already have one. But if we had a landline, it'd be about $10. And that way, if someone wanted to call us, they could call us on this or that. Or if Tina tried to message me, say, hey, give me some ice cream when you're at Walmart. If I didn't answer, then she could just call me. Or vice versa, or whatever. But like I said, I'd rather have this one and a landline instead of two cell services.
Send me your address, girl, so I can mail you your stuff out. Here's your bag of goodies.
Alright, actually, I'm going to have to start this over. Not start over, but get another video.